Hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Steve. This is the Fandom Show, and on today's episode, we're taking a look at where the Mandalorian is at its current point in season 2 and some of the developments that have happened. So, there will be spoilers if you haven't watched the episodes this season. I highly encourage you to do that. The episode that just aired was episode 5 of this season called The Jedi, and we actually met our first Jedi that we've seen on this show. Her name is Ahsoka Tano, and she was, of course, well known from the Clone Wars and Rebels series if you watch those animated shows. Character is played very well by Rosario Dawson. Perfect fit, in my opinion, for that character. That was one of the big developments on the show. We also saw lightsabers for the first time, and it was the first time because although we did see a lightsaber-like weapon in the season 1 finale, that was actually not a lightsaber. I'm not going to delve into that today, but if you go to a Star Wars glossary or wiki or what have you and do a search for dark saber, you'll find out what that weapon was that was in season 1. So this episode that just passed, episode 5, season 2, The Jedi, was our first look at lightsabers in The Mandalorian. And they were white lightsabers, which is pretty cool because we've never seen those in Star Wars live action before. A couple other big revelations in this episode. Of course, the biggest one is that Baby Yoda now has a name, and that name is Grogu. 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 I'm still working on it. I'm neither here nor there with it at this point. I'm trying to see if it grows on me or not. A lot of the internet and the Star Wars fandom is very upset at this choice of name. Of course, Disney was probably going to name this character at some point in the show, and it's a really tall task to come up with a name that's fitting. I mean, we've come to know this character as Baby Yoda or the Child, and it's like, it just seems to me that maybe any name they would have come up with, there would have been a large segment of people that would have had a problem with it. The general consensus is that Grogu is not very good, but I do want to point out that this series isn't over, so we don't know for sure if this is going to be the character's permanent name. Maybe Ahsoka Tano got the name wrong. Maybe the Mandalorian's going to name him something else as he keeps bonding with it. Who knows? There's no guarantee this character is going to be named Grogu until the end of time. That's the beauty of this. Again, it's not finished, so Disney can tweak it to accommodate fan upset if they want to. Now, of course, we know that Disney doesn't always listen to fan upset, so they might not do anything with it, but we'll see what happens. I'm still kind of getting used to the name, not won over by it. I'm curious to see if the merchandise for this guy, which I have a few items on my shelves here, if it gets changed to Grogu or if it stays as the Child, but we'll kind of see where that goes. The other big revelation in the recent Mandalorian episode was Grand Admiral Thrawn. Now, again, if you've watched the Star Wars Rebels and Clone Wars animated series, you know who Thrawn is and what significance he is to Ahsoka Tano. So it appears we're going to get a live-action Admiral Thrawn. What the crossover there is with Moff Gideon, who has the Darksaber, not entirely sure about that yet, but a lot of juicy things are happening. Now, another point of reference here, Ahsoka Tano, if you haven't watched the Star Wars Rebel series and the Clone Wars series, she was actually a Padawan, a trainee, essentially, of Anakin Skywalker. And that's why if you watch the episode, the recent Mandalorian episode, she's nervous about training this new Grogu / Baby Yoda because she's seen what anger and fear can do to a Jedi, and that's a reference to Anakin Skywalker, who of course went on to become Darth Vader. So a lot of interesting plot threads coming together on The Mandalorian. I've quite enjoyed this season. I really like the way it's done a lot of world building and showing a lot of what's going on in the galaxy in the years following Return of the Jedi. I think right now it's at a point where it's either going to get really good or might kind of slip off the rails, but I will say that so far the showrunners have been doing a really good job, so I'm confident that it's probably not going to slip off the rails. It's been one of the best pieces of live action Star Wars I think that's ever been done to this point, so I'm definitely going to stick with the show. There's only a few episodes left this season. Fingers are crossed for some big stuff, but as far as this Grogu thing goes, I'm not going to pillory Disney for it at this point. I'm going to give it a little time to see what they do with it, to see how it grows on me. And regardless of what his name is, he's still cute as all get out. So, I mean, it doesn't take away from me the enjoyment of the character or the show. And I'm really excited to see where it goes, not only for the remainder of Season 2, but also Season 3. That's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching.